A very good morning to all. Welcome to the webinar on Enhanced Hyperv Backup using new Vembu VMBackup version 3.5. My name is Manoj. I'm here a part of Sales Engineering with Vembu Technologies. I'll be hosting today's session. I see the attendees are quickly joining the session now, so let's leave a minute for everyone to get joined, and then we can go ahead and get started. Thank you. Hope everyone has joined, so we can get started. To start with, let's have a quick intro about the company profile. Vembu Technologies is founded in the year 2004. We are a private company, profitable since 2006. We have 4,000 plus channel partners and we reached more than 60,000 businesses so far. We are headquartered in Chennai, India. 70% of our customers are from North America, 20% from Europe, and the rest 10% from Asia Pacific region. Vembu BDR Suite is actually a one-stop solution for all your backup and disaster recovery needs, catering every requirement of small and medium-sized businesses. It has a group of products bundled together, and they are Vembu VMBackup for the backup and replication of VMware and Hyperv, Vembu Image Backup for backup and bare metal recovery of physical Windows servers and desktops, Vembu Network Backup for the granular file folder level backup and backing up applications like MS Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, Active Directory, Outlook, MySQL, etc. Vembu Online Backup is purely a cloud-based solution where you can directly back up to our cloud, Vembu Cloud, and you can do file folder level and application level backups with online backup. Vembu SaaS Backup is a backup solution for SaaS applications like Office 365 and Google Apps. Adding to that, we do have some add-on products. They are Vembu Offsite DR that helps to replicate the data from your BDR server to an offsite data center, and Vembu Cloud DR helps you to set up hybrid cloud environment where you can replicate the additional backup copy to our cloud, Vembu Cloud. And Vembu BDR 360 helps you to do 24/7 manageability of your BDR service. With one single centralized portal of BDR 360, you can manage and monitor your multiple servers from this console. And Vembu Universal Explorer is a tool which helps you to perform granular application level recovery from the image and virtual image backups. And if it is an Exchange, you can even do a mail level restore. If it is a SQL, you can even do a database level restore with this particular Vembu Universal Explorer. Why we need Vembu VMBackup? For backing up virtual environments has typically become more expensive and even difficult to manage now. So fundamentally, it required a different approach. Vembu VMBackup is exclusively designed for virtual environments like VMware vSphere and Microsoft Hyperv by the experts in the industry. It actually fulfills a purpose with best-of-breed technology in providing a manageable solution in an affordable cost for VMware and Hyperv virtual machines. It does not just do backup of the virtual machine. It also ensures that during the backup, the applications residing inside the virtual machines are backed up intact, and also optionally it provides an option to perform a cloud disaster recovery. So when we speak about backup and disaster recovery, we need an understanding of what is an RTO and RPO is. Recovery time objective, RTO, is nothing but how much time need to recover a virtual machine after a disaster. We are glad to say that with Vembu VMBackup, you can achieve an RTO of less than 15 minutes. There are various levels of recovery, and some of the important methods are instant virtual machine recovery, where you can immediately spin the backed up image as a VM on your backup service hypervisor. You can do instant file level recovery, and also you can do instant application level recovery for applications like Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, etc. And when we speak about RPO, Vembu offers near continuous data production without affecting the production data center. It has an automated backup and replication scheduling mechanism, and the backup frequency starts from every 15 minutes. So configuring the backup to run from every 15 minutes, you can even achieve an RPO of less than 15 minutes with Vembu VMBackup. So at any point of time, the backup data should be recoverable. If not, the backups are worthless. So we have come across several scenarios where the IT administrators come to realize that when performing a DR, they will realize that the backup data is corrupted, and eventually they end up in data loss. To avoid such things, we have integrated a feature called backup verification, such that post completion of the backup or once in a day, An automated check will run on the backed up data on the backup server storage. It will boot all the backed up virtual machines or the physical images, and the boot screen will be captured as a screenshot, and those screenshots will be mailed to the administrators. So as an administrator, you can simply take the screenshots. You can ensure that all the backed up machines are bootable, intact and ready to go at any point of time. So another important feature we would like to mention is the Vembu Hive. Vembu Hive is our own patent pending file system. It's designed to manage the file storages in the cloud-based file system. So it is actually designed for large-scale backup and disaster recovery applications with advanced use cases. So Vembu Hive can be defined as a file system of file systems, and it supports SAN, NAS, DAS or any type of storages, and it can automatically scale up or scale out storage devices. It has an inbuilt version control, error correction, compression, deduplication and encryption integrated. And when we speak about the migration between physical to virtual, virtual to physical, or between hybrid virtual environments like VMware to Hyper-V or vice versa, Vembu has inbuilt solution for all your migration plans. Vembu supports instant creation of the VMDK, VHD and the raw files of the backed up virtual or physical machines, so that depending upon your environment, you can instantly perform a P2V or V2V or V2P with the backed up images. So this is the architecture of the product, and the very important software component is the Vembu VDR backup server, where we have the storage connected. When you want to back up a Hyper-V environment, it's purely agentless. So what you can do is like you can directly add the Hyper-V host server credentials here. So the Vembu VMBackup will be like a proxy which communicates with this Hyper-V server. It will read the data of the virtual machines, and it will encrypt, compress and sends the data to Vembu VDR backup server. That the data is processed and stored in the storage with Vembu Hive file system, and optionally you can replicate the data to an offsite server using Vembu offsite DR. Alternatively, you can also replicate the data to our cloud server, Vembu cloud server, using cloud DR. And from Vembu portal, whatever the license needed for the backup server will be supplied automatically, and from Vembu portal you can manage all your invoices, licensing information, billing, everything can be done from here. So speaking more about the Hyper-V backup with Vembu VMBackup, VMBackup supports the host level Hyper-V backup designed to protect Microsoft Hyper-V servers. Vembu has developed its own proprietary drivers to back up the Hyper-V virtual machines in an efficient manner, especially with up to 5x improvement in the performance over other backup software. The Hyper-V backups use application-specific VSS writers to take consistent snapshots of the highly transactional applications like Exchange Server, SQL Server, and you can even truncate the transaction logs during the backup job. And it has a flexible and configurable retention policies where at any point of time you can select how many restore points you would like to have for the backup and when exactly the retention should happen. And the backup of multiple virtual machines in a single backup job, or there is also option to create multiple backup jobs with a group of VMs, can be done with Vembu VMBackup. This hot backup ensures zero VM downtime, and it also supports Hyper-V cluster shared volumes, the CSVs. So these Hyper-V backups are purely agentless. If you take a look at this diagram, from the Vembu VDR standalone protector itself, you can directly add the Hyper-V host server credentials on the VDR server console. So the Vembu VMBackup will communicate to the Hyper-V server. It will act as proxy. From the Vembu VMBackup, it will actually encrypts, compress, only the encrypts compressed data will be sent to the VDR server, where again it's deduped and stored in the storage repositories. So this is the workflow how the Vembu VMBackup performs Hyper-V backup. So let's say whenever a backup request is initiated, it will go and initiate a VSS snapshot for the VMs, and it will add whatever the VMs configured for the backup as a component to the VSS snapshot. It will squeeze the IOs so as to make sure that all the applications inside the VMs are consistent state, so that only we call our backups are application aware. So it will squeeze the IOs and all the applications will be frozen, and they'll be backed up only they are consistent, and the VMBackup will read the .phd or VHDX file and sends it to the Vembu VDR server. Once it makes sure that the complete VHD has been read and the data will be sent to the BDR server, it will go ahead and delete the VSS snapshot which has been initiated earlier, and an acknowledgement saying the backup is successful will be sent back to the VM backup proxy. So this is a very simple mechanism how the Vembu VM backup performs Hyper-V backup. So you can very much see that how we can ensure that the applications inside the VMs are also backed up intact when you use Vembu VM backup to perform the backup of your Hyper-V virtual machines. And we are glad to say that we have our own changed block tracking mechanism to ensure that the incrementals are completely efficient. So we have developed our own CBT drivers. What it does is once the full backup of the previous incremental is completed, the Vembu CBT driver starts the tracking by capturing the IOs, and it will logs whatever the blocks being changed on a bitmap file. So during the next incremental, the VM backup will just go through the bitmap and it will just back up only the changed blocks in the virtual machine you are backing up. So by this way we can ensure that the incrementals are performed in an efficient manner, which is comparatively very less in size, and it will be backing up only the changed blocks in the backed up virtual machines. Some other highlighted features with Vembu VM Backup 3.5 are it has agentless, it is purely agentless for Hyper-V, where you can directly add the Hyper-V host server credentials on the Vembu BDR server console itself. There is no need of manually installing an agent inside the Hyper-V host server for performing the backup. So once on the server itself you add the Hyper-V host credentials, it will directly communicate with the Hyper-V server with an integration service which will be pushed to the host, which is nothing but the Vembu VM backup. Now it will pop up all the VMs running inside it where you can directly start configuring the backup. And also Vembu VM backup provides extensive support for SMB for virtual machines in SMB storage. All you need to do is like just to add the SMB file server to the host list to back up the VMs using SMB file server as a storage. So this is how we can perform a quick recovery of the virtual machines on Hyper-V backed up from a Hyper-V host server. So you can see the Vembu BDR server with the storage where all the data will be, virtual machines will be backed up. It will have a concept called Vembu BDR virtual drive where the instant creation of the VHD, VMDK image files of the same backup image will be available over here. So if you initiate an instant boot, immediately that VHD file will be spinned as a virtual machine on the Hyper-V on the backup server on the native hypervisor. So you can just get it running in a very less time after the backups happen. So this is all the highlight features about the Vembu VM backup. So what I'm gonna do is like I'll go ahead and show you directly how the Vembu BDR version 3.5 standalone productor looks like and how we can configure backup and what are all the recovery options available in it. So this is the console of Vembu BDR Suite version 3.5 standalone protector. So as you can see, you can directly configure VMware Hyper-V backups from the BDR server console itself. Let's say if I want to configure a Hyper-V backup, I'll select Microsoft Hyper-V, and on that page I'll have an option to add the Hyper-V server here. So I click on add Hyper-V server. Now it will ask me whether it is a standalone Hyper-V host or it is an SMB host. So depending upon the server you are backing up, you just need to select the type and click on next. So it will ask for the host's IP address or the host name of the Hyper-V host server and the user and access credentials for accessing the Hyper-V host server. So once it is added, it will list on the Hyper-V backup page where you can directly go ahead and configure the backup by clicking on backup now. I have added one from my testbed. If I want to back it up, just click on backup now. So now the integration service or the proxy, or we can even call it Vembu VM Backup, communicates with the Hyper-V host server. It will read all the information of the virtual machines and it will just list the virtual machines in the Hyper-V server. I can simply go ahead and select which Hyper-V machine, what all the Hyper-V virtual machines I want to back up and click on next. So this is where I can ensure that how frequently we want to run the backup. This is where how we can ensure the RPO and RTO of the backup. As I said, you can even run the backup every 15 minutes. So you can even achieve an RTO of less than 15 minutes by running the backup every 15 minutes. So select how frequently you want to run the backup here, and the next important part is how many restore points you would like to have for the backup, the retention. So you can select how many restore points if you would like to have over here, and again all these backups are application aware. So if you enable this option, what happens is like you can even truncate the logs of the transactional logs of the applications like Exchange after the successful backup. So once when you configure this, all you need to do is like review the configuration of the backup, provide a backup name, and you can directly start running the backup. So it's a very simple wizard. By running this wizard on your BDR server, you can directly start backing up a Hyperv virtual machines to your BDR server. So when we speak about the recovery options, so you can achieve an RPO and RTO of less than 15 minutes with BDR. So the recovery, some of the important recovery methods includes the instant boot, where it will, when you initiate an instant boot, what happens is like if I initiate an instant virtual machine recovery, it will go ahead and spin the backed up image as a virtual machine on the backup server's hypervisor. So normally to support this, we recommend the backup server to be installed on a Windows Server 2012 or 2008 or 2, so that it has a native hypervisor. You can immediately spin the virtual machine, say within a couple of minutes on the backup server's hypervisor. And if you want to rebuild the virtual machine on the source environment from where you have backed up, you can even perform a live recovery to a Hyper-V server where the VM will be directly restored to the target Hyper-V server. And if you want specific files and folders from the backed up virtual machine, you can initiate a file level recovery. What happens is like the backed up image will be attached as an additional disk on the backup server's disk management, where you can simply go ahead and browse through the files and folders you need from the backed up virtual machine. And this download option helps you to perform the P2V, V2P or V2V migration. So depending upon the environment where you're gonna boot the virtual machine, you can choose which format of the file to be downloaded. It could be a VHD, VMDK, VHDX, a flat VMDK, or raw image file format. So it supports instant creation of these files when you want to perform the migration. So by this we can say you can perform instant migration between P2V, V2P or V2V using Vembu VMBackup. So these are all the quite highlight features of Vembu VMBackup. So there's a 30 days of trial available for the product. So what we recommend is you can directly give it a try, and hope you'll feel better when you directly get your hands onto the product. So the session is recorded. If anyone of you need the recorded copy of this session, send an email to vembu-support@vembu.com, and we'll be happy to send a recorded copy of it. Once again, thank you all for joining this session. Have a wonderful day.